So, I bet you've heard of this thing called a water bucket clutch. For example, you just run over and you jump off a cliff or something like that, and you go ahead and save yourself using some water. Oh no, my torches. But have you heard of something such as a vine clutch? Usually it's supposed to be better than that. Vine clutch or a slime block clutch. Boing. What about a honey clutch? Oh, I'm not good at it. I meant, what about a honey clutch? Oh, still not good at it. Oh, creeper. Honey block clutch. Totally legit. Or I just fell. I'm bad at this. Boat clutch. Haha, first try. Maybe even an Enderpearl clutch. Yeah. Last but not least, what about a bed clutch? Oh, I thought I broke my legs. I'm totally fine. Everything hurts. Why did I do this to myself? Oh man, it's nighttime. I need to go to sleep. Hop in bed. I'm awake. Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 68 of From Bedrock to Java. Haha, that's right. It's a new episode, and that means it's a new day to do a bunch of new things. Isn't that right, little froggy? That's right, little froggy. In today's episode, I think we're gonna work on what we started in the last episode. And in the last episode, of course, we started working on where we are right now. This area is our brand new storage room, and I am absolutely in love with it. It's absolutely amazing with the way it already feels. It's pretty huge, and the way that it already stores a huge amount of stuff. And I absolutely love the idea of where this is heading. I have been working a little bit, I say, just a very little bit, between episodes, trying to figure out where things are supposed to go, such as like just a little furnace array that I can put over here and just, you know, smelt stuff up if I just need something really quick and don't need my massive furnace array, which is right over there. So I can just do stuff over there if I need to, and it's fine. But in today's episode, I think I want to go ahead and continue working on this project. So I'm gonna like fully design, flesh out all of this stuff up here. This entrance right here leaves a lot to be desired. And this wall over here, while it does look really pretty, this little section right here feels off. I need to do something about that. On top of all of that, I think I need to go ahead and finish up this little window right here to fit exactly like what I have in my original storage system, which is right over that way. This window right here is pretty iconic, I think, and I just love the way it looks from the exterior. And I want to bring this over to the new storage room, just to be able to have it and be able to reminisce about like this specific window right here, because this little window spawned all sorts of builds across this little skyline right here. And eventually, we're gonna have a new city over this way. So if I have a little window right over here, I can look on over and see all the new projects that are gonna happen in this general area. Man, that snow farm is so ugly. I'm gonna have to turn that into a building. Maybe it's gonna be like a new little castle. Who knows? I might try again, because I love this mega base, but I definitely want to go for a more traditional style castle rather than some kind of collage of different build styles that I've done over the past year or 2 years at this point. Like, it's still amazing. I love it, but I want it to be more uniform in the future over there. So the main projects that I want to work on in today's episode include just tidying everything up, and then of course going up around here, finishing up this window, and then adding in other little features up on the second floor, such as just ways to include my friends in this world, such as like little statues, all that kind of stuff. I want to bring in a bunch of different statues around this area so that way I can have this area feel like it's alive again. I want to make some kind of new testing area, because in the past I used to go over here next to my storage system and test things on this little platform right about here. And while I love this thing, if it's all the way over here, I'm not going to want to fly all the way over just to test things out. So maybe I want to build a new kind of platform somewhere nearby. That way I can test things out. For example, I could build something out right over here and have like a little bit of a platform that just goes right out here. That way something can go on over here and I can just test things out while having a nice little view of this little section. Gosh, that raid farm is so ugly. That's gonna have to be torn down at some point. But yeah, the entire idea of this little area is just to be able to have some kind of vantage point of all of the future builds that are gonna go around in this area. And I need to do that. I'm excited. So I guess let's go ahead and start getting into today's episode. Haha! Let's do this. So I've also been thinking about one of the areas in my base that I have not actually built anything in for a very long time, and it's this area right over here. Why is there a villager in my window? Oh my goodness, that is very unnerving. Is that a frog? Oh my goodness. We got 2 frogs just sitting outside the door, as well as a villager. What are they doing? This one is missing 3 hearts. Oh no. This one's max health. This one is 1 heart. Okay. So how did they even get there? That's my big question. Oh, my animals are so stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Everything in this world is dumb. But this entire area right over here has been barren for I don't even know how long at this point. But this is one of the main entrances into the build. So we walk up here, and then over here to the left, we have all of our sniffers and all that kind of stuff, and like this little indoor garden. But this area right here, I think I would also want to incorporate some kind of garden, because I feel like an indoor garden is just something that you want to have nearby or somewhere in your castle, especially since the ballroom room is like right over here. You want to have some kind of little attraction that gets them to, they go over to the bar, they have some fun. Then they go up some stairs and they want to like look around. So they're walking up here, they're having some fun looking around the ballroom. And then maybe they decide, you know what? I want to go up these stairs. Go up these stairs. Now there's like a little exhibit right here to look at the sniffers. And then over here, there's like a little indoor garden that you can walk through. And I don't know, just have some kind of fun with. Indoor gardens are just pretty cool. I like them. Got to bring some kind of plant life into this world because plant life is always fun to look at. Similarly, this area right here with my little axolotls who are just doing something. I don't even know what they're doing. What are they doing? My goodness. Buddy, are you okay? Okay, maybe he's just a feeder fish or whatever they're called. The guys that suck on the glass for the algae and stuff. I don't know. But in this area right here, I think I want to start bringing in some like pickles and all that kind of stuff. And then maybe bring in a couple turtles. How I'm gonna do that, I have no clue. So that means that we're gonna have to figure out how to get a bunch of turtles really fast. And I think that means we're finally gonna go ahead and build ourselves a turtle farm at some point in the future. So a turtle farm is gonna go somewhere in this world and I have no clue, but I'm happy because I like using eggs as decoration. Yeah, but that means we're gonna have to figure out where to put that thing. It's fine. I'll leave that for future me to figure out. All right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves into a time lapse. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna build up a little bit of a platform outside this window because this is gonna be exactly where we're gonna set up a lot of our testing and all that kind of stuff. This is gonna be that new little area that I was talking about earlier, and I'm just really happy the way it turned out. It looks really cool, and I even added some cogs. And let's head on inside to look at some of the new features that I added here. So we built up some of the like little banisters. We brought in a little bit of the flooring. We even added in a couple tables here. I think it looks pretty cool. So I've been working away a little bit at our base right over here. And I have to say, it feels really cozy again with having a couple actual things that just kind of make sense to have in a build. For example, these little banisters here to make sure that you can't fall off the edge of this little section of the build, I suppose. It just really adds a nice little pop of color up there to detract away from all the gray. I love that. We're also bringing in a couple of natural lighting, or not natural lighting, like actual in-place lighting sources. For example, this lantern right up here, and I think it looks really cool. We also added in actual stairs into the staircase. Well, slabs, I should say. But we actually made the staircase usable without having to jump up, and this feels so much nicer. I decided to go ahead and cut this thing off to a 2-block instead of a 3-block up here, just to add some kind of interest into the shape of this area right here. I think it looks pretty good. And we've also gone ahead and brought this little bit of bamboo all the way across, and we've added a couple signs like so. I brought in a little bit of texturing to the build, so some shadows, we brought in some moss. Oh, this thing right here, that's completely new. We brought in a whole bookshelf, and that gives us a way to use a loom in our base. That is definitely one of the goals I want to bring in. I want to be able to have all of the different workstations and all that kind of stuff in this base so I don't have to go run around and try to find it and then bring it back. It's a big pain. So having all of the workbenches here in the storage room works out pretty well. So I'm also debating where I want to put my table with my friends, and I'm thinking of putting a table like right about here. That way you have to actually walk around it or something. And it gives me a little bit of a ledge to hop on and hop out of here. It's just useful. Even though there's a door right here, the window is more fun. A lot more convenient too. It's like right out here. So rather than going through 2 doors, you can just hop through the window like so, and you can call it good. Perfect. Oh, whoa. Hey, I heard you, buddy. That was not very slick. Where did it even come from? Back up. Now, where did he come from? He fell, I think, right? Did he fall? If he did, where from? There's like no spawnable spots around here. I don't think, are there? Hold up. Wait a minute. I have no clue where this guy came from. He was up there. He fell from over here. That's really not a good sign. Okay. Well, that's something to watch out for, I suppose. I'm gonna have to look out for that. See if I can find out where he came from. Oh, I just realized there's something else I just completely forgot to actually talk about, and it's the fact that over here we actually built ourselves a little bit of an area that we can actually use for testing new features and whatnot, and just this is the new place to test stuff out, like we had over here in our other section of the base where we just tested things out in this little section right here. Well, we can test it out over here now on a bigger platform. Haha, isn't that great? The other bonus is the fact that we have like a nice little water fountain right here, so that way in case we need to test something in the water, we have it right there at our disposal, and that's pretty awesome if you ask me. On top of that, I think it just looks really cool. I like the water fountain. Sure, I need to maybe make it a little better looking. There's not much going on up there at all, or down here at all either. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we can definitely bring in some kind of little details to make this thing look prettier, and I think that'll be awesome. Also, I threw in some cogs. I feel like I probably should have mentioned that. The cogs, I think, look awesome. Look at that. Oh, I love them. It's gonna be a very vital part of our base, considering we're doing a steampunk style build. If we don't have any steampunk in the build, how can we call it steampunk? So we gotta do that, and I think that looks pretty good. Hey, little frog. Froggy? You're just gonna keep following me around? You do you, I suppose. That guy is crazy. I don't know how he's thriving. He's just doing what he does best. He's hopping around. Okay, well, I've threw in a little table here and some nice little decorations there. Bookshelf. I'm gonna throw in my friends later. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break real quick, and I'll be back later. And I'll be back working on something. I have no clue what it is yet, but I've been working here for about 4 hours now, so I need to take a break. Yeah. Let me go take a nap first. It's dark outside. Take a nap. Yeah. Look at that. We take a sleep and we take a wake. Okay, I'll be back. Oh, it's dark out there. I shall go to sleep. I've done a lot of this episode. Woo. So I've been doing a little bit more work, and I don't remember exactly what I have shown off because I have been working on and off on this world a bunch over this past week. So I gotta actually remember what I've actually done. I worked on this flooring right here because it was movie night and we watched Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah. We love that movie. This is the flooring we ended up finishing. It wasn't really much, but it did take quite a long time, and I apparently forgot to do some of this stuff. Good thing I caught that. Yeah, we just finished up some of this flooring, and now it really feels complete. This entire area now feels like one singular location rather than, I don't know, like the little section of wood and then a bunch of stone right over here. It really feels like a melded together work. The only thing I need to do now is to figure out how to replace these lanterns and make this area look cleaner, because these lanterns are terrible. I've done literally nothing up here. I need to figure out what I want to put up here, and then I guess I'll do it, but right now I have no clue what I'm going to put up here. Maybe I'm going to throw a couple farms or something that I really like up here. I really don't know, but I did manage to get this thing going, and I'm really happy with the way it looks. I got my friends here, and let me just take y'all to the original one right over here in my original storage room. This is my group of friends here sitting around the table enjoying a nice little time hanging out together. Jazz is right over here with this action figure. Ethan's here looking at the action figure. I'm just here eating. Tommy's chilling. Matt and Chris, they're vibing. I don't know what they're looking at, but they're clearly vibing with something. But the whole goal was to make some kind of picture frame, I suppose, where we can have each other sit around and enjoy each other's company. I really love the way that this thing looks, and I love the way it feels, so I wanted to bring this over to the Mega Base storage room, and that is this right here. I made another little picture frame type thing here, but it's going to be a little bit different, and it's not as calm. This time, rather than everyone enjoying their time together and watching the viewer, we're going to have a little bit of a storyline. Pat's looking up. Chris is sitting up there on the window decoration piece. Jazz wants to get up there too, so Jazz hopped on top of Ethan. I'm sitting here like, oh my god, he's gonna fall and I'm gonna get crushed. And Tommy's just chilling again, because why not? Oh, I love this little scene right here. It's great. I need to do more of this. I might throw in a couple more of these little scenes around my base here, because I just love the fact that I know I'm not going to use this little doorway right here to get around. I know for a fact I'm going to be using this window. So I'm going to most likely be hopping through here, hopping between them, and every time I'm going to hop through, I'm going to see this little scene right here, and I'm going to love it. I just know I will. Now, the whole goal of this entire section that we're doing right now is just to build up some kind of base layer that we can eventually come back to later and then fix up to make it look better. For example, this section right here, we ended up just putting in just to have an idea of what we want there. So we put in like a little bit of a, I forgot what they're called. I think they're called turrets, but I'm not really sure. And then over here, we got like this little building here, which might eventually have some like stained glass windows. Oh, wow. Never mind. Maybe not. I guess there would still be a pretty cool view from down here. Not too bad. I could do it. And then up here is the actual entrance into the throne room here. So I think one of the ideas I ended up having for this little section is to follow suit with something kind of like this. I really love the way that this thing looks, and I think that if we were to bring it over there, it would look pretty darn good as well. So I think we can try putting that in like somewhere around here. We might have to move some of the cogs, but I do have to say I really love the way these cogs look. They look awesome, especially now that they're oxidizing like this. Okay, I just threw in some paintings here. I don't know if I like them or not, but we're gonna try it out. Let's get rid of these little placeholder blocks. I mean, it's not bad. I don't hate it, but I think we should probably have it go up a little higher maybe. I don't know. Let's just throw in some, I don't know, let's throw in something like that maybe. That might help. Okay, yeah, I don't hate that. You know what? Yeah, that works. I like it. And then now what do we need to put up here? Maybe some banners or something? I don't know yet. We can maybe just leave this little part right over here for later. Okay, so now one of the most crucial elements that I think I need to consider is the lighting. So let's figure out what we can do about the lighting. The lighting here is atrocious. I really don't like it. I think this part right here is safe though. Let's see if we can figure out some kind of lighting to go in here. I actually don't hate that. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, so one of the things that I tend to use quite a lot of, oh wow, I just teleported onto my guest. Okay, that wasn't meant to happen. But one of the things that I think I usually need a lot of but never have any in stock are sea pickles. And sea pickles are farmable. They are a very farmable thing, in fact. So I think I also want to try to figure out today exactly how to make a pickle farm, because pickles are cool. So let me just show y'all what I mean. It's getting dark again. I should go to sleep. Let me go to my random bed in the middle of nowhere again and just knock myself out. That's the right amount of time to go ahead and show you all exactly what I mean. So, sea pickles. Right? These guys right here can be bone mealed. Where is it? Over here. They can only be bone mealed as long as they are in water and on top of a coral block. So like this. See? Oh, I did not mean to do that. And as you can tell, it spreads kind of like a, what would be a good example? Ooh, it pops out with 3 sometimes. 2. Okay, so it comes out with multiple different amounts, well, varying amounts, I should say, every time. That did, wow. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yeah, but as you can tell, it does varying amounts. It's kind of like the flowering petals over here. They're kind of like wildflowers mixed with some firefly bushes, because wildflowers, once there's enough of them in a certain spot, like right here, you start getting wildflowers from bone mealing that. However, they also work kind of like firefly bushes or other grasses, like the dried grass, I think, where if you bone meal them, they spread, which is pretty cool. That's what we have to consider when it comes to these pickles here. Now, how do you make a sea pickle farm? I've never done one of these before, and I've never seen anyone make one before, so this is all going to be on the spot where I build this myself. So, yeah, let's see. So for where this sea pickle farm will go, I've been struggling to figure out exactly what I'm going to do here, because I don't really know where to throw it in my storage room if I wanted to put it here, and I don't know if there's any other place around this world that would have it fit perfectly, but I think it works better somewhere around here, because eventually I'm going to bring in all of like the small little farms up into this little area. So for example, sea pickles, lichen, different grasses, all that kind of stuff. Somewhere all in here, so that way I can just easily get the stuff that I use a lot of quite easily. So I'm thinking maybe this little hallway right here can be meant for, well, maybe not just this hallway. Maybe this one right here can be specifically for sea pickles. And then over here, we can have other farms for like grasses and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's going to be the plan. So let's do that. Let's see. How do you build a sea pickle farm? That's the real question. I think the first thing we need to do here is to contain the water, so that way we can actually put the coral blocks inside, because I'm pretty sure that sea pickles cannot grow on top of dead coral. So just to be safe, because I'm not going to test it. I don't have enough coral to actually do that. Let's go ahead and just place down a little bit of a container here. So I'm looking at this and I got to think about what I'm gonna do. I'm guessing the way that you're supposed to build a sea pickle farm is to build it similar to a flower farm, because the way flower farms work is if there's a block here, let's say there is a piston right over here, there's another piston right here. This block is gonna get pushed here and here, and then whatever's grown on top of here is probably gonna get pushed off. So I'm assuming if sea pickles work the same way, if I were to just push coral blocks, they can bounce back and forth, and the sea pickles on top will just get washed off, or knocked off I should say, and it should float because it's in water. And once it's in the water and it starts floating up, I'm gonna have another little trick here, which is similar to that of a kelp farm. Where's my kelp farm? Did I do it here? I don't think I did actually, did I? Oh no, I did, kind of. So if the block here breaks and it floats up, the top part, if it's flowing like this, it's gonna push the block, the pickles, let's say, and it's gonna fall into a hopper like this. I'm guessing that's how we're gonna collect it. I'm not entirely sure, but let's see if we have the theory down. Oh, wait, maybe if I were to... Okay, so if I put a block like this, I'll put just a little bit higher. Okay. If I did this maybe? And I don't know, let's say we were to... How do we make this look good? Maybe some sand. Let's just grab some sand real quick. Okay, piston here, fill this up with sand. Okay, now that I'm on this side, let me build in a little bit of redstone. Woohoo! Man, you take a lot of damage from doing redstone, don't you? It's dangerous. So then the goal here is to have a single block gap between there, so that way the piston can actually push. Can I? No. Okay. Okay, so now these two different pistons need to push at 2 different intervals. So if this one pushes, this one needs to retract. If this one pushes, this one needs to retract. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of a A-B sort of redstone system here. Oh my goodness, redstone is dangerous. It hurts so bad. Whoops. What was that? I just jumped. These two are gonna push at the exact same time. We're gonna have this, back this up a little bit. These two are gonna push at the exact same time. So if I remember correctly, it should just be a very simple little system where if I do this, I can do this. That powers a block. There we go, now we have a simple little redstone clock, which we can control, maybe not? Oh, okay, there we go, now it's controlling. We can control the speed of it. Okay. Now, the rest of this should be really simple because we can definitely make this go A, B, A, B. All it takes is a single little redstone torch. Let me get my redstone torches out here. And a repeater. So we do something like this. Hello? Right. It's got a repeater going this way and then another repeater going the other way. This one's going to go into a redstone torch, which will just lead over here and power these. There we go. Now that's pushing in one direction. And this one right here is going to push in the other direction. Is it working? Okay, so I thought I knew exactly what I was doing, but apparently I don't. I haven't done this kind of thing in a while, so I'm forgetting what I need to do. So let's try a different approach to this thing. Rather than doing a simple little A-B circuit like I just did up there, it was trying to do an ABBA, but it just didn't because I guess this piston was moving too fast for this one to keep up. So if one piston is extended, the other one can't push it back. So these two need to move in sync. So what's the best way to do that? Well, wait a minute. Can't I have just done an observer? Hold up. I'm now just testing things because I don't know if I'm right. Might be a really good idea. Once again, I think I've proven that I'm not mumbo jumbo, just to make sure y'all knew, right? But anyways, I need to figure this thing out because I am struggling with the concept of this whole thing. So let's go ahead and break it down real quick. So what we're trying to do is this. So we push the block, it goes back. We push the block again, it goes back. And we just keep this up, but if we put the signal in too fast, it can't push. So we have to keep it, we have to keep it on a rhythm. Once this one ends, this one pushes out. Once this one ends, it pushes out like that. But once we do it too quick, that happens. So what would be the best way to do it? What happened? What happened the first time? Wait, did I just figure it out? Is it really as simple as this? Okay, wait a minute. So then if I were to go ahead and, I don't know, just put down a little simple circuit, like something like this. Oh my goodness, this works. I figured it out, guys. Okay, it really was simple. Okay, it is really simple. I got this now. So that's all it takes. Fancy, just needed 2 observers. So it doesn't work on this scale. Oh no. Oh wait, okay. So I just had to replace one of the blocks and now it works? Does it work consistently now though? If I turn that off, turn it back on. Okay, that works consistent. Okay, good to know, good to know. So now this little lever works, this little system works. I didn't expect it to work, but it works nonetheless. So now we have to figure out this pickle part. So we gotta have the pickle here, and I'm assuming this thing can be affected by dispensers. So if we grab ourselves some dispensers here, I think we can probably get in 3 because we want to have some kind of open space between the pickle itself and I'm assuming the tube coral block. Oh, but then how are we going to fill these things up with bone meal? Okay, maybe we can't put one on top because I don't know how we're supposed to get the bone meal into that one. It should be as simple as just pop. Get that thing to work. Yep, okay. Now to fill in these hoppers. Okay, I think we pretty much have something set up. We just need to grab ourselves a shulker box or 2 full of bone meal, which is right about here. Okay, so I have no idea what to do with the actual collection of this thing, but I think we can go ahead and test this thing out. Let me just turn this thing on. That should be, yep, it's popping that stuff out. Let me turn this thing on. Look at that. We're producing. Actually, we're actually producing. Hold up. Ouch, ouch. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, no. Get out of here. Yeah, look at this. We're building up a huge amount of... Uh-oh. I need to turn this thing off. I'm building up way too much. Uh-oh. Close. Alright, so I think I have actually looked ahead and figured out exactly what's wrong with this pickle farm here. So the struggle I was having was trying to figure out exactly how to power both of these dispensers while also feeding the bone meal into them while also being able to collect all of the pickles easily. So I think the solution for that is to just switch up where things are located. So rather than having the actual, I guess this thing right here, the observers powering from the top, why don't we have them power from the side while having the hoppers, rather than feeding from the side, why don't we have them feed from the top? Something as simple as that should work, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but we can always try it. So I guess let's see if this works. The tricks I'm doing is to have the water down here and then place a layer of blocks above it. So that way I can place another little water stream like this, so that way it actually becomes a water stream. And then if I go ahead and just break these blocks that I already have set up here, let me just bop, bop, bop. Okay, that should be the last one. They should all rise. Yep, as they're doing. Right. And I need to go ahead and fill up this bottom layer. Like that. That way they rise. They go up into the hopper system. Okay, I need to fix that up a little bit, but it does work. The proof of concept is here. Okay, so now I think this entire farm should be complete, I believe. So let's just go ahead and flip the lever and head over here to look at it. Okay, it's working. Kinda. Okay, they're falling, but they are going up. That's a good sign. Oh, that's not a good sign, though. They're getting stuck in the hopper. Is it happening on the other side as well? Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue. However, it shouldn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Let's take a look. We're already at a stack. Yeah, this thing's actually working pretty darn good. I'm kind of surprised. Alright, so today's episode is getting pretty darn long, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here, so that way we can work on some other project in the coming future. So I guess let's go ahead and talk over what we've done in today's episode. So in the last episode we went ahead and built up this storage room, and today I wanted to go ahead and just bring in a little bit more life to it, so that way we can enjoy our time here as we spend a huge chunk of our time in the storage room. And since we're in the storage room, I think this area needs to feel really homely. Not homely. Homey buddy. I want it to feel like home. So the first thing we had to do, of course, is to just incorporate the flooring all the way across, so that way it's very cohesive and not just some random bunches of stone blocks like this, which are extremely ugly, I gotta admit. But of course we didn't finish it all. We have like a lot of decoration to do. We have quite a lot of decoration to do. It looks really ugly still. However, we got a big portion of the main chunk of the room mostly done, with the fact that we now have like a separate wall. We have this little window here fully decked out. We got ourselves a little table with our friends. I absolutely love it. And of course, this cast is in the way. And of course we have some different entrance ways to different areas, like this little ladder here that does literally nothing except be a spot for me to probably AFK in. If I sit here, I can AFK, I'm guessing, a good chunk of this area. But yeah, this will probably be like the little AFK platform that I sit in. It's not bad. And of course we have this little testing area right here, because we need to have a testing area for every update, or if we want to just test something out and see how it goes, because that's always very important. So if we have this little test area, it needs to look pretty nice and have a really great view. That's the rules. I didn't make them. They just happened to come to me. So in today's episode, we also went ahead and built up a lot of this little section right here. It's very undecorated, of course. We'll get to that in a future episode, but for right now, we just have the basic shapes down, and I'm happy with the way they look. This one right here is kind of funky, I have to admit. I really don't know how to feel about this, so the roof might change and the whole design might change, but for right now, I'm okay with how it looks. Maybe I'll change it. See, anything else we did in today's episode in terms of decoration? Not really in this area. However, we also went ahead and at the end of today's episode, as you've just seen, I have literally just went ahead and built my own pickle farm based on my own little design. It's extremely huge and is probably the most inefficient thing you've ever seen, so there's probably someone out there that's made this thing better than I have. That's for certain. However, I'm just really happy that I was able to design something on my own, and as inefficient as it is, it's my own little farm, and I love it. I'm probably gonna rebuild one of these farms at some point in the future, but it looks pretty darn cool. I love it. I guess that'll be it for today's episode. If anything else comes up, I guess I'll put it in. However, I think that'll be it. Thank you all for watching. And of course, have a good one, y'all. Goodbye. Haha. All right, I put up those little light thingies. I forgot to put them over here. Oh, I'll do that later.